Hey, you know what? It is time to pivot. It is time to reinvent yourself. And this is a time most people don't know how to reinvent themselves. They think they're supposed to stay in one place and have one mindset and one thing to do all of their lives. You are brilliant and you know, you have so many gifts and talents within you, and you just can't do them all at one time. You really can't. You have to get one thing started, get that growing and going, then another thing, get that growing and going, and then another thing. They all may be interconnected and they may be very different, but those are things outside of you. But how do you reinvent yourself so that your life is fulfilled in so many great ways? I mean, there's ways to like pursue new skills, being able to, how about changing environment, moving from one side of town to the next, another state, or even a whole nother country. Sometimes you need that, not because you're running away from something, you're running to yourself, to open yourself up to new experiences, new friendships, a new language, new scents, new smells, new street, new block, new everything, because sometimes we need those changes to expand our minds. To be in one place, sometimes for most people, it feels like you're stuck and you run out of the ideas, because if you're around the same people doing the same thing at the same time, it becomes redundant and you just lose your spark, and it feels like you're dying slowly, especially when you're someone who like needs that movement, needs that expansion. And you can read all the books you want, to look at all the documentaries you want, and you can fill your mind up, but sometimes it's good to go to the Serengeti instead of looking at the Serengeti. If that is what you desire, it is best just to go to the beach on the coast of Zanzibar, as opposed to looking at videos on YouTube of people in Zanzibar. You want to take those experiences with you in your mind, in the physical, not just resting in your mind. It's got to be something that's a calling to you to want to make these changes necessary, because I know if I've been stuck, and I felt that way, and it didn't take long. Trust me, I'm one of those growth mindset people. So when I'm started feeling like this is not it, this is not my life, it is time to go. It is time to pack it up and go. And I do these things for my benefit. And so this is where you have to, put into play, especially when you don't have any responsibilities, i.e., spouse, children, elderly parents that you may have to be responsible for, or anyone else. If this all you have to deal with is you, make your move. And the sooner you do it, the better. The earlier you do it in your life, the most better. The most better. I don't. That's not even a right phrase, but the most better. The better it is for you, because those experiences you can capitalize on as you grow into yourself. And I wish I had gone traveled more in my 20s. I wish I had. I mean, that's one of the things in one of my videos I talk about, being in my 20s and the things that, I wish I had done. And that's one of those things I wish I had done, because I had always traveled, but then just to live in a whole nother country wasn't something that I felt at that time. But it started to grow on me at a certain point in my late 30s, mid to late 30s. And I'm like, I think I want to move out of the country. So those things start playing in my mind, and I started traveling for that purpose. So when I traveled, it was the purpose of finding the neighborhoods, talking to the locals, wherever I would go, and I just wanted to find out. I didn't want to do the tourist thing so much. I did, but it wasn't the first thing on my mind, the priority of it. I wanted to find out more about living in a place, how the people were, what side of town was the best, what side of town was good for schools, because as you know, where the good schools are, you usually have a good neighborhood. Just where it is. That's how it is where I come from. So I wanted to make sure that, there were good things going on in that particular part of the city, where I was traveling. So expanding your horizons to travel into other places is a great idea. You want to network differently. Maybe not go to the same places you've always gone to in order to meet people. Do something fun. Sometimes it's not going to a social. Most places have like a social setting at a restaurant or a club or something, and they have food and drink and things like that. Go somewhere different. Sometimes your networking is just bring you having fun, and you find out, wow, people enjoy this. Me too. sometimes that networking is doing something you already like doing, because then it's not so hard to make a conversation work. I find that to have been the key to finding love, or having love come to me, right? The doors of love open up by doing things that I enjoy, because then the conversation, the interests are the same. It's not so hard to build your connections off of things that you are doing that everyone else likes doing as well. So, and then you find other things that you connect on, and boom, you don't know if you just met a business partner, a friend, whoever that person may be. So you want to do that, set new goals in your life. Erase all the old goals. Sometimes it maybe keep some things from those old goals, but erase the old goals and bring about new goals to set for yourself. New goals that you hadn't even thought about. Maybe you kind of suppressed it, and now you're like, wait a minute, I can bring those out again. I can actually do it, because at first you didn't believe you could. Now that you believe you can, now you can. Things will execute based on what your mind and your heart being aligned. When your heart is feeling something, is based on how that feeling is, that you already have it, you already know it is, not, because God doesn't work in the negative. You're always in the affirmative. It's like knowing that like without doubt. So you have to be able to bring those things about based on how you feel. And so you want to make sure you bring those practices, set those new goals up, so that you can actually manifest what it is that you want in your life, as long as it aligns with the will of the Most High. So you want to practice self-reflection. So when you're practicing self-reflection, you're reflecting on the things of your past. You don't live in your past, but you reflect on them, so you have an understanding of what it is that may have gone wrong, or what it is that you could have, instead of going right, you could have gone left, or you could have gone straight. But you want to reflect on those things, because it's important to understand where you were in order to know where you're going, so you don't get stuck at where you are. Does that make sense? So that's how you want to do. You want to reflect. You don't stay in. That's why the rear view mirror is always very small in your rear view mirror in your car, or on a bike, or any vehicle that you drive. And that mirror is very small, so it reflects in a distance. So that's the distance, that's past. So everything else is a big window for your future. So you reflect in order to understand. You move forward in order to know what you need to do from the lessons you've learned from the past. You want to adopt a new lifestyle. Changes to your diet, exercise, bringing in your exercise. Maybe you start running. For me, I started running, and so I trained like I was training for triathlon. So that was in my mind. I knew I wasn't going to run a triathlon, but I trained as if I was, and so the weight started falling off, and so did my mind. The negative mindset, anything I may have held negatively in my mind, started to fall away as well. So everything was about forward thinking. Right now, what can I enjoy right now? Being grateful for right now, so that I can set my future up because of what I'm doing right now for myself. And then those people around me benefit from my good attitude, my positive outlook on life, and all the other things that coming about, the creativity, the gifts, everything just starts flowing and overflowing. So you do those things in order for you to reap the benefits, and those around you that you love so much and dearly, your children, your spouse, whatever, your friends, your family, even they and new friends, they benefit from how you feel about yourself. And of course, setting healthy boundaries around that, because now we're in a new thing. Make sure you set healthy boundaries always in that. You want to volunteer and give back. What's wrong with volunteering and give back? Giving back, and showing your children, if you have any, and if especially if you're single, you have more than enough time to give back. I don't care if it's packing groceries, it is delivering food to the sick and shut in, or those who the sick and shut in, or packing food. I've done those things. Maybe it is I don't know. Think about anything that you can volunteer for. Uh, Feeding the hungry, like really feeding the hungry, like they're coming through. Maybe it's a church organization or some sort, something similar to that, that they feed the hungry on an ongoing basis, not just in that moment during some holiday or whatever. But it is ongoing throughout the year, that you just say, hey, we're going to volunteer for this month. This is our time to give, and not just write a check. So find some time to do that. Maybe it's working with children. You love children. You're a safe person. You're a good person. You go somewhere and you volunteer with children. You volunteer with children who don't have anybody. There are people who don't have fathers or don't have mothers. You have boys and girls club. Go somewhere like that. There's church organizations or whatever your religious organization is. There may be children. Go to an orphanage. Go somewhere where you can be of service to someone, and you'll see. Maybe you're sitting with the elderly. Maybe you're sitting with newborns whose families have abandoned them, and they need people to hug them and give them that love. These are things to look forward to. I think I mentioned travel, but I was mentioning about, moving somewhere. Travel to places you've never gone, expand your mind. But I will warn you, you need to read up on the customs in that particular region of the world. Just because if we're, especially us Americans, we tend to be very arrogant in our ways of thinking, not thinking other people have other forms of how they do life. And you have to have a level of respect for other people and their cultural beliefs and their cultural everything and how they do things and how they speak to one another. People not well. We tend to be very. Some people are more aggressive, some are more assertive, and then we have some who are just really easygoing. It depends on who you are as to who you meet as an American. Okay, but I would just warn us as Americans: just take it easy. You're on vacation. Learn the language a little bit, razzle dazzle them with some of your lingo that you learned, and people will be so appreciative of your effort more than anything. And be kind. So I would say that travel to other places that you've never thought you would be able to go to and enjoy the journey. And you want to bring that up. Read. Hello, something as simple as reading everything you can get your hands on. Read things to expand your mind, your mindset, growth mindset. Maybe it is a healing, something that you need to heal to get over something. There are all kinds of books out here that say 30 days to this, 40 days to that. Maybe it's a fasting, maybe it's a that you do a coupling with something that of a healing process that you're going to need to go through in order to reinvent yourself. You come out on the other side a new improved person, clean, lean, fighting machine, mind, body, and spirit. So doing something like that is definitely beneficial for anybody. Doing a 3-day fast, 7-day fast, 15, 14-day fast, or even up to 21 to 40 days, you will see a drastic change in your body, your mind, and your spirit. Trust me when I say this. It is very important for us to have those moments where we're cleansing out and getting our bodies in alignment. Our temple is everything we need to carry us on this journey, so we need to take care of it. You want to embrace the change, like embrace that change. Life is going to throw you curveballs. It always will. But I promise you, if you listen to this video, everything I'm saying here prepares you for any type of change that will come about. Right now in this world, if you're looking at this video, we know what time it is, and people are getting laid off or have gotten laid off, and they've had to learn to pivot, or otherwise they will falter, they will fall. You have to always be in a position of knowing how to pivot. If you do not understand what that means, you need to get it in your head now, because that is the moment, trust me, that you will be thrusted into reinventing your life without preparation. So you want to prepare. You want to always prepare for what if, because gone are the days where you had many jobs where you can actually retire out of 20, 30 years of working at a place with a pension, no less. A lot of jobs don't even have pension. At best, if you get 10 years out of one place, that really is like working somewhere for 20 years, okay, or 30 years. So, but I want you guys, you all, to focus on being prepared to pivot. And so when something happens, you may have something already going, already have something on the side that you're always working on, and that is generating you income or could potentially generate you income. Always be working on something. And if you're working to expand your mind, guarantee this reinventing of yourself will be easy when you have to pivot in this situation. But if you want to pivot before something like that happens, because you have been preparing yourself, you've been preparing yourself to make certain moves before, if anything were to happen. And I pray that nothing happens to you, that you could just move in life as it is and nothing happens to you, but you incorporate reinventing yourself from where you are. Do that. Reinventing yourself is such a glorious thing. People don't even know who you are anymore. They can't recognize you, and that's okay. Reintroduce yourself to the new you and reintroduce them to who you are now. They're going to try to bring back your past, but don't you let them. Don't you let them bring back everything of negativity, or even some of the things that may have been positive. Don't rest in that. Laugh about it, but move on. Smile about it, but move on. That is the past. We remember it, but we don't rest in it, good, bad, or indifferent. We have to continuously be moving forward and learning and unlearning bad things, relearning new things, or learning new things, not relearning, but learning new things, unlearning the negative, and now learning the positive. So reinvent yourself. Take these things into consideration. Hopefully, it helps you get to where you want to be. Let go of the old, bring in the new. Reinvent yourself, baby. We're here for you. We're here for you. This is Deanna Inspires. This is Inspired Perspectives. Can I get my words out? Thank you for watching my videos. Please enjoy the other ones. They're really good too. Thank you. Have a good one. See you on the next video.